who I got in the building with me. I got the Israelites united in Christ with me. You already know I got my brother Captain Joel with me. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. All praise. Thank you for having me on the show once again.
No doubt, man. We good, man. What you got for us this week?
Well, this week, one thing we want to touch on is the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast. This is one of the hot topics that's going on right now on the earth in terms of what is the mark of the beast. And even with the mosquito bites, people are saying, the mark is here. You see, we can't buy and sell. The mark of the beast is going on something completely different. It's completely different from what people think it is. It's going on a global scale. We're talking about global economics. We're talking about the global trade system. We're talking about something bigger than what's in front of our eyes. Bigger than buying chips from the grocery stores. Yep. Or buying juice or water or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So the mark of the beast is a lot bigger than we think it is. And it's time to go over it and pretty much, like I said, put everything, just kill all of those thoughts and the doctrines that this whole thing's been going on for, decades.
Yeah, it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, this doctrine, the mark of the beast and what it actually is. Because every year it changes. Before it's the microchip, now it's the jab.
Yeah, what is it really?
So what is it? We're going to go into that today.
Okay.
No, brother. Let's go to Revelation chapter 13, verse 7.
This is the book of Revelation chapter 13, verse 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
So the book of Revelation, written by John the Revelator, it's a big parable or it's a big metaphor.
Okay.
It's going back in history as well as prophetically speaking about the future, things that's happening today.
Okay.
So John the Revelator, a black man, was able to foresee prophetic events of the world to come, the coming world, or the end of this ruling empire, America's empire. So he's documented historical, like I said, prophetic historical timelines of so-called white man's rulership, Esau's rulership. Read verse 7 again.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
So now John the Revelator is going in the future. Remember, John wrote this on the island of Patmos.
Right.
So this is before he died. So he says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. This is going to the Spanish Inquisition. When like I said, the Israelites, we took down the Roman Empire, the Eastern Roman Empire, as well as the Western Roman Empire, and we conquered them under Septimius Severus in 193 AD.
Yes.
And then you also have Constantine conquered, like I said, the Roman or the Eastern part of the Roman Empire, and he conquered them on that side. So the Byzantine Empire was black men ruling.
Yes.
Over Europe, ruling over Rome, Jerusalem. And so-called Caucasians went into the caves of the Caucasus Mountain.
Yeah.
In Russia, Georgia.
They became like the barbarians, and they came and sacked Rome like 500 AD.
So yeah, they're the cavemen.
No, I know exactly who exactly who are. And what I want to hold on, what did you just say? Because I had something to say to that. You said, what did you say?
So you have Septimius Severus during 193 AD.
No, not that. It was before that. Before you was breaking it down. It was
John the Revelator.
It was about John. It was after the hours of Patmos. It was it was a prophecy that they said that you was explaining that you said happened. What's that prophecy you was just explaining? Because I think it didn't happen yet.
The Spanish Inquisition?
Yeah. What is the prophecy about that you were saying?
Oh, we're going over it right now.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You said it already, but I had something to say to that.
Oh.
But yeah.
If I say it again, it'll come up again.
Hey, thank you, brother.
Okay,
thank you, brother. That's what I'm saying.
So if I say it again, it'll come up again. So read verse 7 again.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
So who was given? It was given unto Esau. Get me Genesis chapter 27.
That's what. Because so that already happened. That's not going to happen.
No, everything's already been happening. We're in a process of prophecy right now. People are waiting for something to happen, a whole new global war order to occur.
Yeah.
But we already been in a new war order.
Already here. Yeah.
We already here. It's been here the whole time. Ever since the white man came back into rulership and took over Rome and conquered us, that was a global order being established under Esau.
So you think basically we at the end of the Revelation?
Yeah. We're coming to the end. This is the end now. Yeah, any day. It's coming to the end game. We're in the end of the prophecy, going to the sixth hill. Now, go to Genesis chapter 27, verse 38.
Genesis 27.
Who was this that was given power to make war with the saints? There's only one person on earth, only one nation documented to the Bible. Remember, the Bible documents all ruling empires, all nations from their birth. You have the Arabs come under the Israelites. You have the Moabites, Chinese, the Ammonites, Japanese, the Hamites, Africans. You have the East Indians, Elam. So when it comes to all the nations, the Bible specifically talks about one ruling empire, one nation, one race of people that have global dominion over the whole earth.
Ain't it who was it? Nebuchadnezzar, didn't he have that dream? Wasn't it like a Daniel prophecy?
Yes,
like
yes.
The
toes.
I think we at them.
We're at the toes.
The toes.
Yes, we are.
The iron and the mixing with the kingdoms and all.
Yes, sir.
So they haven't been smashed yet, though.
No, they haven't. Christ hasn't returned.
Oh, so he's the one.
He's the one. He's the rock that's going to smash the toes.
So what about the bringing in the one world government and the world war? You know, it's going to be another world war. And what about all that?
So the third world war is going to be the end of all wars.
Yeah.
It's going to be the third world, and that's it. It's going to be the setup of Christ's kingdom, our kingdom to come.
Yes.
That's the kingdom of God established on the earth. That's going to be the new world order. That's going to be our world order. That's where all the old world orders, there's fornication. New Jerusalem. That's the real new world order that's going to be set up on earth. So the white man's order, his rulership, it's going to be sacked by Christ. It's going to be taken out of rulership, out of power. Now go to Genesis 27, verse 38.
Genesis 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father?
So Esau today is the forefather of all so-called Caucasian people, white people. We have French Caucasian, Russian Caucasian, German Caucasian, American Caucasian. You have Dutch Caucasian, British Caucasian, Portuguese Caucasian. All of them come under the banner of Esau. That's their biblical forefather, and later on their name was turned to Edom.
He mixed with like every nation.
Every single nation he mixed with.
Well, overran every nation basically and infiltrated.
Yes, exactly.
Took over every nation.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, identity and everything.
Everything.
I'm right with you.
From a fugitive and a vagabond on this earth. Never paid for his sins.
Okay.
So Esau, the father of all Edomites, Idumean or Edomites, all Caucasian people. That's their biblical nationality.
Yeah.
That's where they come from. Read.
Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
So Jacob was given a blessing because remember, Esau sold his birthright.
Yeah.
Now the birthright consists of the promise and the kingdom, immortality. Esau sold it for one morsel of meat, meaning undone meat, uncooked meat, red meat. Right. And that's why today they're undone, they're uncooked, and that's why the foods that they eat, the meats that they eat is all rare. Medium rare, rare done, blood in it. Because their blood showed through their skin.
A quick question.
Yes.
So, I don't even know why this just popped in my head. I don't even know why I ever heard asking this. So, if you saying it was red meat, right?
Yes.
And we're not supposed to eat it or whatever. Why was Jacob cooking it?
Remember, Esau, it wasn't finished cooking. He wasn't finished cooking it.
So
Esau took the food. It was raw. So Esau was so hungry and so impatient.
He bargained with his brother.
Yeah. To eat raw meat.
So it wasn't
fully cooked.
Okay.
So in the midst of Jacob cooking the food,
he took it before it was done.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, give it to me right now.
Yes, right now. I'm starving. I'm hungry. I'm on my verge to die.
I feel that.
So and it's nothing done by accident. That's why all their descendants today, when you look at their foods, the cooking channel, all the foods they eat is raw. But when you look at us, all the foods that we eat, we say, nah. Make sure there's no blood in it.
They want some blood in it. Yeah,
they want blood in it. You could be in the same line.
Yeah,
and you wonder why do they eat all their meat rare done? Because it's like the father, the progenitor, the father of the race, the meat that he ate was a representation of them being uncooked, them being undone, and their descendants, they're going to follow the same pursuit of their father. So these are going to be little clues that's given to us to identify the Idumeans or the Edomites in the last days. So go on.
And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
So Isaac said, the blessing, given that you sold your birthright, you're not going to get the best blessing. I'm going to give you a blessing, even though. So your blessing is going to be, it's going to be the fatness of what?
Of the earth.
It's going to be, it says, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Think about it. The fatness of the earth is the best parts of the earth.
Yeah, the best tasting.
The best tasting, the most fertile parts of the earth. The best parts of the earth where you're going to have control of the wealth. You're going to have control of the minerals. You're going to have control of the produce, the food, the agriculture, the livestock. You're going to have the best part of the fatness of the earth. Anything you desire, anything that you want, you're going to have it.
Right.
But how are they going to obtain that? Go on.
And of the dew of heaven from above.
And the dew, man, they're going to have the knowledge, the scientific knowledge to have control of the dew of heaven above, meaning go to their planes. Like with the 1912 with the Wright brothers, they was given the information and the knowledge to be able to fly planes.
Okay.
Also, 1969, they was given the information and the knowledge to go to space.
Yeah.
And that's why it says, and above, and of the dew of heaven from above. They'll give the science and the knowledge to be able to go into the heavens. The first heaven, meaning the skies,
That's
as
deep
well as
right
space.
That's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I follow that.
Go on.
Mm-hmm.
And by thy sword shalt thou live.
Now that's why I said, and by thy sword shalt thou live. Meaning they'll be blessed with military power.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be blessed with the art of war.
Yeah.
They'll be blessed with technology to make weapons of warfare, weapons of mass destruction.
The United States is the most formidable military power the world has ever seen. Arguably, since the end of the Cold War, America has enjoyed a level of dominance unparalleled in history. Neither Rome nor the British Empire enjoyed such a level of superiority over rival power.
That's why it says, and behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. In order for you to have the best parts of the earth, you have to be blessed with the art of war. You have to be blessed with military power. You have to be blessed with technology so you can conquer these parts of the earth.
Right.
So they were blessed with the sword. That's why under the Greek, Alexander the Greek, when he came into rulership, he conquered all dark nations within a short span of time. And then generals after that. Rome to this day is known as one of the most formidable military power. The eagle. Then come after Rome fell, we sacked them. Then Spain came in power. Portugal came in power. France, British, Germany, England, all of them. All the ruling Edomite kingdoms came to power. Because why? They were blessed with the art of war. Now, let's go back to Revelation 13, verse 7.
A lot of them kingdoms was ours, and they took over. They took over. People don't understand that.
And guess what? We're reading that right now. That's exactly what you said. A lot of those kingdoms were ours.
Yeah.
England was ours.
Yeah.
France was ours. Russia was ours. All of England, all of Europe was ours. Rome was ours. Jerusalem was ours. But prophecy says, read verse 7 again.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
It was given unto Esau to make war with the saints. Who are the saints? The Israelites. Get Psalm chapter 148, verse 14. It was given, power was given to him. What was the power? The power to rule by the sword. Military power. Go on.
Psalm 148, verse 14. He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel.
So the saints are the children of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. We're the saints. We were conquered. Historically speaking, you ask, when were we conquered? Remember, we were given rulership under ancient, we took Rome under 193 AD. As well as 333 AD. We had Rome, and like I said, we have Rome. We took complete control over the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
And we became the Holy Roman Empire, or the Byzantine Empire.
Judah,
yes. Judah, Benjamin, Levi. You have also some of Northern Kingdom.
No, I get that too. It's definitely Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And Levi spread through all the tribes.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but Benjamin, little bro, stay with us.
Yep, exactly. And that's why you have people just like Beethoven, Mozart. You have King Arthur the Ninth Realm. You have Vladimir, what do you call the vampire, which is not vampire. Vladimir was a formidable warrior. Well, he used to kill people and put their heads on the stake. King Arthur, the Knights of the Round Table.
Whoa. Count Dracula.
Yes. That was a real, that was Black
Man.
Pillar. Yep.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
It was given unto Esau. The power was given unto him to make war with the saints. The saints is going to the Israelites. When you look at after the Renaissance, or after the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages, when black men was ruling Europe, you have during the 1453 or the Renaissance period. Or I'll say the Spanish Inquisition.
Yes, sir.
When Esau came back into power, or Rome came back into power, or Spain or Portugal, they came back into power. And during the Spanish Inquisitions, they were killing a lot of us, enslaving a lot of us, and fortunately converted a lot of us into the religion of Christianity. You have under Pope Alexander, I'll say the fifth, or Pope Nicholas V.
Okay.
He was the one that enacted the slave trade.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one that I think it's due to it was a papal bull called Dum Diversus.
Like 1508 or something.
So it was 1452. Pope Nicholas V issued a papal bull entitled
That's
Dum
the first
Versus.
one. But it's another one to where this is the one that allowed them to come run back into Africa to the Jews that they ran out. They called them the black Portuguese Jews or whatever that they sent to Saint Thomas and all like that and everything coming down into West Africa. They went back to get them.
Yeah.
But that law was, I think it was, I forgot the name of the law.
And so many different.
But that's the one that started the slave trade though. For them to go capture a certain people. They don't even tell us that they literally went to go get the tribe of Judah back from Africa to ship across the world. That's written in like England law, or no, not England, Spanish, Rome. This is the Catholic or whatever they are, or whatever. But it was written in the law to go get the tribe of Judah, and that's heavy, brother. No, I'm gonna show you. I just learned that the other day, but it's there. I'm gonna show you what that's about. But go ahead, bro.
It was Pope Nicholas V. Under the papal bull entitled Dum Diversus, which authorized Alfonso V of Portugal to conquer and co-sign us to perpetual servitude. So he's the one that started the first slave trade in 1452, or a papal bull we would call today as an executive order.
Yeah.
Then you have Pope Alexander VI wrote another papal bull issue called Dudum Segundum, which granted Spain the rights to enslave the natives of the lands and to convert them to Christianity.
Yeah.
So it was these Catholic popes that gave the power to enslave Judah as well as Israel, Ephraim. Both kingdoms, all 12 tribes, by a papal bull. So that's them during the Spanish Inquisition and during the Renaissance, meaning the rebirth of Rome, making war with the saints, the Israelites.
Yes.
That's when and also under the Ottoman Turks. The Ottoman Empire, they conquered us and sacked us in Constantinople.
Yeah.
So that was the decline of our empire, or us going into captivity.
Yeah. They
Go on.
They became the Arabs. The real Arabs is black Arabs.
Go on.
And to overcome them.
And they overcame us as a people.
Yeah.
They conquered, divided us, and enslaved us. Go on.
And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
And power was given into Esau, the beast, over all kindreds. I want you to keep that in mind. Power was given unto him over all kindreds, all tongues, meaning all nations, whether it be Chinese, Japanese, North Korean, whether it be East Indian. It was given power to him over all nations.
He and all the nations.
All the nations, the military, the seas, the Navy, the embassies. America's the only place that has an embassy in every nation. America's the only place that has a Navy docked in the seas. All sea coasts. America is the only nation that has the military set up in all nations. Power was given to him. In all tongues and what?
And nations.
And nations. America was given the power and rulership and dominion over all nations.
Right.
Go now. Think about it. Who gave him his power? Go to verse 4.
Revelation 13, verse 4. And they worship the dragon.
And they worship the dragon. Who's the dragon that they worship? The beast worship the dragon. Read.
Which gave power unto the beast.
Which gave power unto the beast.
Yeah.
Who worship the dragon? Give me Matthew chapter 4, verse 7. Who's the dragon that they worship? Who gave them the power? Who gave them the military power? Sorry.
No, you got right.
Who gave them the military power? Who gave them the economic power? Who gave them the power for technology? Who gave them the wisdom and understanding where the Israelites were?
Right.
Go.
Matthew chapter 4, verse 8. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world.
Satan showed Christ all the kingdoms of the world.
Right.
All tongues, all kindreds, all nations. Go on.
And the glory of them.
And the glory of these kingdoms. Go on.
And saith unto him, all these things will I give thee.
All nations, all power over the nations, the kindreds, and the tongues, and nations, I'm going to give to you. I'm going to give you that power to rule over them. Go on.
All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
So Satan said to Christ, I'll give you the power over all kindreds, all tongues, and all nations. All you got to do is worship me. And I'll give it everything to you. Now, Christ didn't take the deal. Because Christ's kingdom was already, the power was already promised to Christ.
Right.
The kingdom of heaven was already promised to Christ. The rulership and dominion, immortality was promised to Christ. So he says, why do I need to go to you, knowing that you know who I know? Right. You know that all these things are promised to me. You were there, Satan. Guess what? I was created before you. So who are you to try to come? Who are you to try to convince me or tempt me to give me power over this earth when power is already promised to me?
Right.
But somebody did take the deal. Somebody did take the deal. Revelation chapter 13, verse 4 again.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 4. And they worship the dragon.
And Esau, the white man, worshiped Satan. That's why you have your Illuminatis, your secret societies, your Baphomets. And they're showing it all throughout the, like I said, hip-hop industry, the media, entertainment, Hollywood.
Yeah.
They're showing that they worship the devil.
Well, last weekend at a festival called Astro World in Houston, Texas, 9 people lost their lives and many others were injured due to a stampede. Many at the concert felt a dark presence and evil forces, while one concert goer felt like they were in actual hell. It's known that the music industry is surrounded by the occult and satanic rumors, but how much is it actually true? And how much are we being influenced by music? So
some of the pictures are, I mean, I'm sorry, it's painfully obvious. Not just you don't need special discernment.
Yes, exactly.
It's painfully obvious that there's a problem here.
Yeah. I mean, we've got, well, what did you say? You said this is a representation of Moloch?
Yeah. In ancient Israel, Moloch was the god where they would sacrifice their infants, and it was a gaping mouth. Wow. And you would throw your child into the gaping mouth, and within that would be an inferno.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. You can't deny it, even when it comes to their customs. Their high holy days, their feast days, their holidays.
Yeah.
It's all pagan idolatry, satanic worship.
I'll be trying to tell people that they don't even.
They don't
and then they try to you seem like you crazy because you don't want to celebrate pagan holiday.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, and they worship the dragon. Go on.
Which gave power unto the beast.
And Satan, because they worship the dragon, because they have the secret societies, the Illuminatis, they're devil worshiping, they go to the sacrificing of children. Yeah. You find out what happened. Where's all our children? Why is all our children missing? Because they offer up our children to idols. They sacrifice them to Satan.
That's crazy.
It says the power was given to the beast. That's why they was given the military power.
Yeah.
They was given the financial power. They was given the power how to create atomic bombs. They was given the power, the technology that they have. Think about it. I could talk to you on the other side of the world through a phone.
Yeah.
Who comes up with that technology? Who has the power, the ability to think of, you know what? I'm going to create a phone out of nothing, and I'm going to be able to video chat the other side of the world.
But man, look, man, they thought the boy Alexander Graham Bell was crazy when he said, I want to talk to somebody here, over there. So they made jokes about that growing up all my life on every cartoon or whatever, Simpsons or whatever. Like, well, how did he think about talking to somebody over here in Western second? So, no, that's real rap, bro.
Who gave them technology?
No, the beast.
Who gave them the bath?
We already know. The same people that gave us all this from the beginning, the fallen angels, the seed, the Satan.
Now go on.
And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying,
and the other nations worship the beast. Because Satan, the white man, or Esau, worshiped Satan, the power that was given to him caused for all the other nations to worship Esau, which is the beast.
Yeah.
And that's just going into the mark of the beast now.
Yeah, okay.
Remember, keep that in mind. It says, and they worship the beast, saying, all tongues, kindreds, and nations worship the beast, saying, who is able to make war with him?
Okay.
Who is able to compete with America's military? Who's able to compete with America's nuclear missiles? Nobody. So that's why it says they worship the beast. They gave the beast their power. They're all in agreement with the beast. America. Whether it be the policies, the politics, the democracies, the way of living, their customs, their religion. Everybody's in agreement. Everybody's worshiping the beast. We look at the white image of the image of Christ. Think about it, the image of Christ. You go to China, the white image of Christ is there.
Yeah.
You go to India, Christianity is there. You go to Africa, Christianity is there. Christ, everywhere in the world you go to Arabian countries, Christianity is there. How is it that Christianity, the worship of a white Christ, is in every country? They're all worshiping the beast. Thinking that they're worshiping God and Christ. They're not. They're worshiping the white man.
Yeah.
They're worshiping in terms of religion. They're accepting his politics.
A carbon copy.
Exactly. Now, let's go back to verse 7, the bottom of verse. Now go to verse 8.
Revelation 13, verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him.
You see, saying the same thing. That after they conquered the Israelites, after they sacked us during the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages, all nations of kindreds worshiped him. Because they said, wait a minute, how's this guy able to take down the most powerful people on this earth? God's chosen. Surely somebody's with him. Surely there's a power with him. Let's join him.
Perfect sense.
Let's join the league with him. Let's gather with him. Maybe we could get a piece of this power. Maybe we could get a little bit of the like I said, the global finances, the money that was given to them. Maybe we could get a piece of the pot.
Right.
All we gotta do is worship and follow this guy. Do what he says, and we'll be blessed too. Go on.
And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him.
It says all that dwell upon the earth, all nations, all kindreds, and all tongues shall worship him. Shall worship the beast. Shall worship the white man. Go on.
Whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world.
Only those that names are not written in the book of life.
Okay.
Think about who's written in the book of life. It's Exodus 32, verse 33. Only not everybody's written in the book of life.
Oh, okay. Break it down to me, bro.
Exodus 32, verse 33.
Exodus chapter 32, verse 33. And the Lord said unto Moses, whosoever hath sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. So whosoever, remember, God said to Moses, to the Israelites that was in the wilderness with Moses, whosoever sinned against me, read, him will I blot out of my book.
The book of life. Him will I blot out of my book. Meaning immortality, eternal life. That's why Christ said, give me Matthew 24. If it was possible, they shall be able to deceive the very elect. But it's not possible because why? God's going to wake up the elect, and we're going to go through the scriptures. We're going to look at the meeting. We say, wait a minute, we're not supposed to be doing this.
Right.
These are lies, because those people that's waking up are in the book of life.
Yeah.
If they endure.
Yeah.
Read that, Matthew 24.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 24. For there shall arise false Christs
and false Christ, false beasts, the image of the beast.
Okay.
Caesar Borgia, white image of Christ, the false image of God. Pope Alexander VI that painted himself that had himself painted as God.
Oh, he painted his son.
Yes, his son was painted by by Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh, okay.
But when you see the image of God touching Adam, the white image, that's him.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's Pope Alexander VI.
It was just out of control.
Yeah, they're crazy with it. So read that again.
He's in that Last Supper painting too.
Yeah.
For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets.
False Christians and false preachers and teachers. Go on. Christianity. Go on.
And shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that
saying the same thing that we just read. Show great signs of wonder.
Okay.
Go into the technology. Go into the nuclear technology. Go into their technology to be able to fly a missile to outer space, or a rocket going to outer space.
Yeah.
Go into space travel, plane travel, phone technology to take a person's leg or give a person a false heart.
Yeah.
Or give a person a false leg. This is going to the technology, the science.
Yeah.
So it says, read that part again.
And shall show great signs
and miracles. There's science, the technology, go on.
And wonders.
And wonders, read.
Insomuch that if it were possible.
If it was possible, read.
They shall deceive the very elect.
If it was possible, with all the technology, with all the science,
right,
with all the deception of Christianity, everybody would be deceived. But God says, if it was possible, they should deceive the elect. But the elect are not going to be deceived. Because God was going to rise up and wake up the elect in the last days to see the deception and to call them out, to reveal the wicked one. Give me Isaiah chapter 45. Just so people say the elect could be anybody. The elect could be all nations. Isaiah chapter 45.
Isaiah chapter 45, verse 4. For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, mine elect.
Israel is the elect. Israel is the one that's written in the book of life. Now, let's go back to Revelation 13.
Revelation 13, verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him.
They will worship him through their politics, through the democracy, their policies. They worship him through their religion. They worship him through his science, through war, his nuclear capabilities, through his military.
Okay.
All factions and aspects of life, people worship him, don't even know it. When you pledge allegiance to the flag, guess what? You're worshiping the beast. Because you're pledging to his nation, his policies, his ideologies, his philosophies, his way of thinking. When you call yourself America, you've been Hellenized, you've been assimilated, you became one as him. You adopted his customs, his speech, everything about him. You are him now.
So, all right.
You've been marked.
That's deep for me. So, all nations should be the same.
That's America's philosophy. That all nations should be the same.
Be one melting pot.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's everybody worshiping him. America, just like Alexander the Greek, had all nations back during that Hellenized.
Yeah.
Everybody called themselves Greeks. Same thing today.
Yeah.
Everybody's America. We're all one.
Yeah.
Go on.
And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him.
Rome too. It was like that.
Yeah, Rome too. It's the same beast.
Yeah.
Every different time, different time periods.
Babylon.
Go on.
Whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world.
Whose names is going to all kindreds, tongues, and nations. Talking about the other nations. Not talking about the Israelites. The Israelites are written in the book of life.
Okay.
The Israelites are the elect. That's why I said, if it was possible, they shall deceive the very elect. But they're not going to deceive 1/3 of the Israelites. Now, let's jump to verse 11.
Verse 11.
No, read on.
Verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear.
Meaning, any man have an ear. Meaning, not just literal ears, spiritual ears. The Most High opens up your spirit to understand and comprehend, understand what we are saying about this beast and who it is today.
Right.
And what's current in terms of globally. This is not talking about something in terms of individuals. It's not talking about individuals being able to buy and sell.
Right.
This is talking about global economics, global trading, in which we're going to go into. Go on.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
He that leadeth into captivity is verse 7. The beast. Under the beast, Rome, Greece, Spain, Portugal, French, all of them, Caucasian, all Edomites, all Idumeans, Esau's descendants. They led our people into captivity, starting with the Spanish Inquisition.
Idumean is the Greek name.
Yes.
I can with you, brother.
So starting with the Spanish Inquisition, leading all the way to the transatlantic slave trade to today. He that leadeth into captivity, based on verse 7, read,
shall go into captivity.
meaning they go, just like they led us into captivity, they're going to go into captivity. That's righteous judgment.
Yeah.
Go on.
He that killeth with the sword.
And guess what? Remember, who is blessed with the art of war?
Esau.
Esau. It says, and by thy sword shall thou live.
Yeah.
Who shall kill with the sword? Esau killed us with the sword. Read, going back to verse 7, the same beast that made war with the saints. God said there's a judgment for them, for coming after you. Read.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
You reap what you sow. You must be killed with the sword. Go on.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Here's the faith and the patience of us. We're the saints.
Right.
We're patiently waiting for this to happen.
Yeah.
We're patiently waiting for this empire, this wicked, demonic kingdom to be taken out of rulership. So that Christ's kingdom will rule. So that our government will be set up.
Yeah.
So that there will be real peace on the earth.
Right.
This is not peace on this earth that we're experiencing.
Right.
Nothing but confusion, turmoil.
It's the worst.
It's this life is the worst.
Yeah.
Yo, every day I wake up, I'm like, oh gosh, what's new in the news?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously.
Go on.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, And he had 2 horns like a lamb.
Now, this is the same beast. Now, but going to a different time period. A different faction of the beast. So the beast that we spoke about earlier was going to the war. Was going to them worshiping Satan and them being given the power or I'll say them given the power as well as the art of war or the blessing of warfare. So now we're going to another faction of the beast. Go on.
Coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb. And he spake as a dragon.
What is it talking about? Let's go into the politics. He had 2 horns like a lamb. You got to understand American history. In 1790, you have the Democratic Republic Party was created by Thomas Jefferson. So that was the first, or you had the Democratic Republic Party and then you had a Federalist Party.
Yeah.
The Federalists.
Yeah.
So after the Democratic Republic Party, it was one party. It wasn't until the late 1824 you had what is called his name, John Quincy Adams, as well as it was John Quincy Adams. And who's the other person? It was one other person.
Somebody that started the Republican Party.
Yeah, they split. It was John Quincy Adams. No. Andrew Jackson.
Oh, that's my favorite president. People don't know about him, but I did my deep dive research on Andrew Jackson, and the person they claimed he is to us is not even really what it was. He more connected to us than people even really think.
But he killed the natives, though.
No, what the Trail of Tears was because at that point where he was going through, where he grew up like I guess it was like the Georgia, the North Carolina, the area. Actually, Andrew Jackson was in the Revolutionary War. When he was 16, they killed his brother. They killed him. So he hated the Brits. He hated everything. He fought in the Revolution, the American Revolution, and he fought in the Civil War. So he was like a warrior president. Like people don't even dig. And what happened to him was the natives, because everybody not always right, they ransacked his village or whatever. They killed him, his peoples, and everything. What people don't know is Andrew Jackson had a revolt of people from his community, mixed of natives, blacks, slaves, and everything. In the first war he fought amongst us with people against these people they try to claim to be that's fighting for us. He was fighting against them. He kicked the Illuminati out the government. He kicked the bankers out. He kicked all this shit. After Andrew Jackson left, they had to start all this shit. That's what
the Federalists. That's why they formed the dual party. Because they went against
great leaders. They always throw dirt on their name. We kind of gotta understand these things. But do some research on Andrew Jackson, bro. He's a real bull. Like he's a real. He really tried to do right by his people. So I learned something like that.
So it said, and he had 2 horns like a lamb. So the 2 horns go to the split parties.
Yeah.
During 1824, when you split between Andrew Jackson and John Quincy Adams.
Yeah.
To the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. That's when they finally split because they didn't like I said, the Federalist Party and the Central Bank. So it was against the Central Bank and the Federalists. So they split. So the 2 horns go to the split politics. And it said, and spake like a lamb. Why? Because it said it spake like a lamb. Because why? They covered their own politics. They covered themselves with Christianity.
That's sheep and wolves clothing. I mean, a wolf and sheep clothing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's what I get from that whole saying. They come looking like lambs.
Yep.
They just drag.
Yep. Because why? They say in God we trust. Or you have the Republican Party. They call them conservatives.
Yeah.
They try to keep the old way or some type of biblical, some type of biblical moral standings.
Yeah.
But then that's why they abort against abortion.
Yeah.
That's why they against homosexuality, transgenderism. The Republican Party or conservatives.
Yeah, conservatives. But we started the Republican Party. That was a black party in New Orleans and Louisiana. That's what I mean. The black men started that to stand up for our rights, and the NRA actually started to help free slaves, protect their land, and give them gun rights. It was like it's a lot of stuff they told us. Like everything that look like it's right is upside down. What's down? It's all flipped at the end of the day. You could be gay now. You could do this. Everything that look good is bad, and shit's bad is good. It's just it's the way that they taught us history. The victor tells the history. And anything that they say is what we gonna pick up. But when you dive into these things and like who our people really is, you really start finding out things. Like, so no, that's all I gotta say. But keep it on the scripture thing.
Yes, sir.
You right on point, bro. It's all our people.
And it says, and read on.
And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Now, this is going to the politics. Earlier, we touched the war.
Yeah.
And now we're touching the politics. Now, go on.
And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him.
He exercised all the power of the first beast before him. Exercised all the power of ancient Rome. Everything that Rome did is the same thing that America's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
The exact replica of Rome. Everything in terms of the politics, the religions,
The eagle.
everything about them.
The calendar.
Yeah.
The calendar. So it says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him. That's why America is an extension of ancient Rome.
Right.
America is the Holy Roman, is the new Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Go on.
And causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
Think about it. He caused the earth and everybody to dwell therein to worship the first beast. All these customs are Roman pagan customs. Christianity came from Rome, ancient Rome, but actually created by a black man, Constantine. He adopted a lot of the pagan customs. I'm not saying not everything that we did was right.
No, I know. But that's why we in the predicament we in. But
Yeah.
a lot of these people were our people, and a lot of our people did sell us
A lot of evil.
slavery. And what it says, we was gonna be sold. Our own people was gonna sell us too.
So we did a lot of evil. We did a lot of evil on this earth.
About that bag.
And that's why we're in the
Get that
predicament
bag.
today. That's
You know,
weird.
that money.
Yep, exactly.
And I already know what that's about.
Read that again.
And them which dwell therein. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was
You
healed.
see, to worship the first beast. The first beast was Rome, whose deadly wound was healed. When was his wound healed? During the Renaissance era. That's what is called the rebirth of Rome. Rome back into power and rulership and position.
Brother,
So-
hold on.
yes.
Why do some people interpret that passage as Nimrod?
Nimrod's been dead.
I'm saying, but some people say that he might be that Antichrist to come back, that wound he got,
I don't know where
that
they
you
get
don't
that
know nothing about that.
Listen, that's what we stay in the Bible, precept upon precept. Notice how I didn't really go too far off. I'm staying precept upon precept. I don't know where they're getting Nimrod from. This is talking about Esau.
All right.
Esau's rulership.
Yeah.
That's why we went to the precepts earlier to show who was given the art of war,
Right.
who's given that power.
All right, I got
This whole thing, this whole show, everything is about two people, two figures on this earth.
the
two
Antichrist
nations.
going to come through Esau, and the powers that the devil is going to have is all that's going to come through Esau.
And Antichrist has already been here.
Okay.
Antichrist been here during the time of Christ. Antichrist just means anybody that's against Christ.
Right.
Anything that goes against Christ's teaching, guess what? If you're against Christ being a black man, you're anti-Christ. Antichrist is not something that's simple because remember, it says many in it, and we read 1 John chapter 2, verse 21. Many people could be antichrist.
No, I understand.
But there's one man that's going to come. Meaning the one man is talking about Esau. Meaning his whole descendants are antichrist. 666.
yeah, and yes, but the one man that's in power that's going to be
No, it's not
led
talking
by
about
the
one man.
devil.
It's talking about the one nation. When it says it's talking about the nation of Esau as a whole. They're the antichrist. They're against Christ in general.
Okay.
Go on, read that.
I'll read verse 18. 1 John chapter 2, verse 18. Little children, it is the last time. And as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come,
You have heard Antichrist shall come. Read.
even now there are many Antichrists.
You see, even now, during John's time, there are many Antichrists, meaning people against the doctrine of Christ. Anytime you're against the Bible or the teachings and doctrine of Christ, the laws of God, guess what? You're anti-Christ. You're against Christ.
Right.
Now go back.
Whereby we know that it is the last time. All right. Revelation 13, verse 12. And he exerciseth all.
Now verse 13.
Verse
It
13.
says, whose deadly wound was healed, going back to the Holy Roman Empire, or Rome, not holy, Rome back into rulership as America. Go on.
And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Now, John the Revelator is jumping in history. Jumping in the future.
Okay.
Now it says, and the same beast. Remember, it's talking about the same people, the same race of group of people.
Okay.
Esau's descendants. It says, and he doeth great wonders. The great wonders go to the scientific discoveries. It's going to the miracles, the science, the technology. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire to come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. What is the fire that came out from heaven in the sight of men on earth? That's during the Manhattan Project. We have Oppenheimer. During the Manhattan Project in 1945, he was made the head over the research on how to create an atomic bomb. After he came up with the research, 3 years later, they used the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And that's the first time that fire came down from heaven. The atom bomb was the first time people saw on this earth nuclear capability. And guess who gave them that power? Satan. In verse 4.
After falling for 43 seconds, the time and barometric triggers started the firing mechanism. A uranium bullet fired down a barrel into a uranium target. Together, they started a nuclear chain reaction. Solid matter began to come apart, releasing untold quantities of energy.
Worship the beast. Think about Albert Einstein. They said that he received dreams.
Yeah. A lot of them say they did.
Yeah. They get that back.
Somebody gave them this information.
Yeah.
If you look at their writings, they used to be high.
Yeah. That's not normal.
Things
It's not normal.
But they write it down.
Yeah.
They be speaking in what they call it, tongues. But they be tapping into certain things they really didn't understand. Well, maybe they did. Yeah. I don't know, but they know what they looking for.
Yeah.
You know, they part of that's they squad.
Yep. So Satan gave them that technology. He gave them the mathematics for the technology, for the atomic bomb, or splitting atoms.
Yeah, all that.
Or speeding up the neutrons.
Yeah.
To create the atom bomb.
Yeah, and colliding atoms now. To open up gateways.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, sir. Yep.
And read that again.
And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
So that's when the atom bomb was created, and it was brought down on Hiroshima and Nagasaki during the First World War. Go on.
And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
It says to deceiving all nations. After that was it.
Right.
All nations gave the power to America. The European Union, that's when the European Union was formed. The League of Nations was formed during the 1940s. After the atom bomb was created in the 1940s, you have the League of Nations, you have the World Council of Churches, you have the National Council of Churches, you have the World Bank. All these things were formed. The IMF. So it says, and he deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. They said, wait a minute, surely somebody's working with this man.
Right.
Surely a God is working with this man to give him that. Who gave him the nuclear capability to destroy Japan? Think about who could create an atomic bomb.
Right.
That's global. That's world. That's power.
Yeah, it is.
Go on.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live.
Now John's going back. He said this same people made an image to the beast. What is the image? They made an image of Christ that represented, that Caesar Borgia was the image that they made to represent the life of Christ. That they make an image to the beast. Read.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
Go to that last part one more time.
That they should make an image to the beast.
Think about it. Why would they make an image for the beast? So they can have all nations, tongues, and kindreds worship him.
Yeah.
They had to take the most powerful person in the world. He said, you know what? Who's the most powerful person spoken about figure on this earth? Christ is. You know what? Let's take him out of the equation. Let's become him.
Yeah.
Let's take over him. So now, rather than the world worshiping Christ, the world now will worship me.
Yeah, like the Satan. That's his whole game. I'm the most high now.
Yep.
I'm the real one.
Exactly.
I can compete. You know, believe in me.
So let's make an image to this. Let's make an image for the beast.
Right.
So that everybody will worship us. Everybody will bow to us. Go on.
Which had the wound by a sword and did live.
Why? Because during the Renaissance period, during 1453, that's when Pope Alexander VI had Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo paint his son Caesar Borgia to be the representation of the new image of Christ. Verse 15.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
Now, Pope Alexander VI had power.
Right.
To give life unto the image of the beast. He had power. I mean, he had power, meaning he had finances. He had control of the military. Think about it. The Pope is the ruling power during that time period. He was able to combine church and state. He had the power of the military. Guess what? Those that went to the Americas, they had to get permission. He had to sign a paper bull to make it authorize them that it's all right to go to America, to enslave the natives, and to force them to convert to Christianity.
Yeah, he had the right and it's the law.
Yeah.
So the people could feel, oh, well, it's the law.
Yeah.
We'll follow the law. Yeah, and just took over a whole continent.
And Queen, and also King Ferdinand and Isabella had to go to the Pope.
Yeah.
For permission to take that journey over there.
Yeah, he was the main one, I think, that really was against it, because during that whole time, that's when King James was literally fighting against them. He was literally he was 16. You talking about the 14? My bad.
Yeah,
so what I'm saying, when they came in after King James died, that's when we get the slave trade or whatever. And actually, the first kind of town that we have is named after King James in Virginia. You know, he had a lot to do with the conquistadors and a lot of stuff coming over here.
Charlotte, North Carolina, Queen Charlotte.
Yeah, so a lot of it's a lot of that. Some of them was coming looking for the Holy Land, and some of it was about them being persecuted during the Inquisition coming here. Because if you remember, the conquistadors, they was the criminals. They was the prosecuted. They sent them over here to conquer a new land. Who was they prosecuting and coming at those? They was kicking the Jews out. They sent them over here. So it's a lot of stuff. Even the Moors, they was claiming to be. Some of them was claiming to be Muslim. A lot of them was Hebrews that came over here and made it with the women and whatever, and a lot of the neighbors. But a lot of our people had a hand in what happened to us. But even though they might not have knew, but it was prophesied. Like they said they was going to do it.
Read that again.
Verse 14.
Verse 15.
Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
Caesar or Pope Alexander VI had power to give life unto his son.
Yeah.
He gave him the life of Christ. Go on.
That the image of the beast should both speak.
Now, how does the image of the beast speak now? Through your TV, your television, through your movies, your Passion of Christ. What's the other movie? He has risen. Every so-called Christmas, they have a white image of Christ as a baby Jesus.
Yeah.
That's how he speaks. Your movies, you go to Disneyland, they have white Jesus walking around. That's how he speaks. Today they give him power to speak, to represent his son Caesar Borgia. So we've been worshiping Caesar Borgia ever since the time of Renaissance all the way to now. Go on.
And caused that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
And that's when he signed a paper bull to come over here. He said, you know what? As you come over here and conquer the Americas, make sure you convert them to Christianity.
Because they won't follow my son's image or my image.
Yep. So that's what the whole thing was about. Them following and worshiping his son's image. Them worshiping the beast.
Yeah.
And globally spreading Christianity globally so that everybody worships the image of the beast. Everybody worships the white man. Go on.
And he causeth.
Now, keep everything in context to what we're reading. What was discussing, because people jump off the horse. So you see, this is the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is the microchip. The mark of the beast now is the vaccine. This is the mark. No, keep it in context of what we're discussing. This is talking about global colonization, global dominion, global religion, global politics, global worshiping of this man. This is what it's going to. Go on.
And he causeth all.
Who's the he? The beast.
Yeah.
The white man. Who's the all? Go to verse 7. The bottom of 7. It tells you who the all is. Read that.
And power was given him over all kindreds.
All kindreds.
And tongues.
And tongues.
And nations.
All nations. China, Japan, France, wherever you go. East India, Arabia. He had power over all kindreds, all nations, all tongues. Go on. And he calls it all.
Verse 16. And he causeth all
kindreds, all nations, and all tongues. That's what it's going to. It's not talking about individuals.
Right.
I'm not going to be able to buy water. I'm not going to be able to buy candy. Go on.
Both small and great.
Small nations and great nations. You have your small nations are your third world nations.
Yes,
your
sir.
Caribbean islands, your Jamaicas, your Tobagos, your Trinidads, your South Americas, your your South Americas, your Central Americas. Go on.
Rich and poor.
Rich nations. The rich nations go into the European nations, the ones that colonize the poor nations. The rich nations go into what? Your England, your US, your Russia, your Germany, your France, your Arabia. These are the rich nations. Why? They came rich off of what? Colonizing us. And that's why it says rich and what?
And poor.
Poor is your third world countries, the ones that were colonized, that were conquered, that were enslaved. We're the poor nations. We're the third world nations. You're Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Cuba, Brazil, El Salvador, Haiti. All these are poor nations.
Yeah.
Everybody has the mark. Everybody has been indoctrinated. Everybody has accepted their religion. Everybody has accepted their politics.
Right.
Everybody has accepted their philosophy, their way of thinking, their lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's what it's going into. It's all in context to the whole chapter. Go on.
Free and bond.
Free nations, meaning the free world. Your European nations, your colonizers. And bonds go to those nations that were enslaved by the European nations. That are still slaves today, that got the independence later on, like Haiti. These were bond nations. Haiti still owes money to France.
Yeah.
They're in bondage. South America, bondage. Central America, bondage.
In debt you can never pay back.
Exactly. We're in debt that we can never pay off. That's what's free nations, those that colonized us, and bond nations, those that were colonized. Go on.
To receive a mark in their right hand.
See, brothers talking about the microchip. What do you think about it? Your right hand. What is the importance or relevance of your right hand?
What, to put it up to God?
Think about it. Anytime you make an agreement,
brother.
get
you
second
shake
as-
up and shake your hand.
Yeah, that's what's talking about right hand. When you agree, when you see on a political stage, when you see people go, after they sign
Yeah,
a
you
deal,
never shake with your left. You
no,
don't-
you always shake with your right hand
Yeah.
as a covenant,
Yeah.
as a seal. I agree with this.
Word is bond.
Yeah. If you don't agree, you don't shake hands.
No, you don't.
Everything's always done with your right hand.
Uh-huh.
Get that. 2 Maccabees 4, verse 34. 2 Maccabees 4, verse 34.
Yeah, I get that, brother. It's a lot of things. They tell you in different, like, do it with your left.
No, nobody does that.
No, that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
I'm saying like certain, like where I grew up with certain brothers that was Muslim, and they don't they do a lot of things with their left hand that they wouldn't do with their right.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, they're
To the
not
power of the
saying
right
it's,
hand.
not saying it's okay or whatever, but they would do certain things with their left, they wouldn't do with their right.
2 Maccabees chapter 4, verse 34. Wherefore Menelaus, taking Andronicus apart, prayed him to get Onias into his hands, who being persuaded thereunto, and coming to Onias in deceit, gave him his right hand with oaths.
Gave him his right hand with oaths. Because you make agreements, covenants, and contracts, and oaths with your right hand.
Yeah.
Meaning you're in agreement with things. Now let's go. Go back.
You better stand on that. Taking that before God. That
Yeah.
right hand, yeah.
So anytime you shake with your right hand, that's why it says, read that last part again.
And to receive a mark in their right hand.
Meaning you're in agreement with the politics. You're in agreement, because remember, we just read everything upwards. Upwards in the verses, we went in verse 15, goes to the religion.
That's a lot of interpretation for me, personally, but I see where you're going.
Yeah,
with
you
it.
see?
I understand.
You understand?
That's heavy interpretation.
Yes. We're going to go further into it.
All right.
So verse 15, you're in agreement, the mark. A mark is something that's embedded in you, sealed in you. That's why you shake with your right hand. What do you agree with? Their religion in verse 15. What do you agree with? Their war tactics, their military.
Yes.
That's why he says, you salute that flag. You stand up for that flag. You know why you salute and you stand up for that flag? What do you salute with? Your right hand.
Right.
What do you pledge with? your right hand.
Right.
You pledge allegiance to what? The United States of America. And when you don't pledge, when you don't salute the flag, when you don't stand, what do they always say?
It's subordination. You don't gonna kick you out.
What about the people that died for you? What do you mean? The military. You got to accept the military, the things that they're doing.
Right.
Goes back to verse 13. They have power, it causes power to come down from heaven. You got to accept their religion. You got to accept their war tactics, their military.
Right.
You got to accept verse 11. You got to accept their politics. You got to accept the democracy. You got to accept their republicanism. You got to accept the Democratic Party. Verse 7. All these things. You got verse 4. You got to accept their holidays. You got to accept their holidays, their religion, their customs. That's the mark. That's the seal. You've been marked by the beast. You become one as they are.
Okay.
Go on.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
What's in your forehead?
Your mind.
Your mind. That's what I'm talking about. You accept their politics. You accept their military.
You consciously made a deal.
Yes, exactly. That's what it's going into.
Okay.
People don't realize you consciously made a deal and you're at agreement with it because you're partakers in it. You're in agreement with their gay agenda, homosexuality. You receive the mark in your forehead, your right hand and your forehead. Anytime you argue, that's their rights.
That make a lot
Let
of
them
sense.
do that. You've been marked. You've been marked by the beast. What is a beast mark? We're going to go to it. It's their sin. It all goes down to one word. Sin.
Right.
That's all it is. It always goes down to sin. Because think about it. How do we lose the kingdom? How do we lose the kingdom?
Oh, breaking our covenant with the Most High. That's how I think.
By breaking God's laws.
Yeah.
How are we going to get the kingdom?
By praising God and doing God's work.
Yeah, doing His laws.
Yeah.
So think about it. So if you're not keeping God's laws, whose laws are you keeping? You've been marked. You're keeping the laws of America.
Right.
You keeping their customs, their philosophy, their agendas.
So putting something before him.
Yeah, you're supposed to have
money,
Yep,
government,
exactly.
whatever.
Yep. Think about it. Your government is supposed to be based upon the scriptures.
Yeah.
Christ's government. Think about it. Your politics. We didn't deal with politics in terms of the scriptures. Our politics was based upon our Constitution was the laws of God.
Okay.
Our governors, our leaders was your elders, your bishops, your captains. That was our leaders. That was our governors. Now of course we have a government. Don't get me wrong. We just didn't have the Republican Party and the Democratic Party in Jerusalem. God gave us this government. We have a government. We have a constitution. We have dietary laws. We have moral laws. We have civil laws. We have high holy days, ceremonial laws.
Yes.
So everything that we had back then, is what we're following the white man's constitution.
Yeah.
We're following his laws. We're following his politics. We're following his high holy days.
We already have a way we should live.
Exactly. So guess what? We've been marked by the beast.
Yeah.
We've been sealed and we've been stamped with his philosophies, his ideologies, his politics, his practice, his military practices, his government, his lifestyle.
Yeah.
You've been marked by the beast, and it's embedded within your conscience. That's why when you said I don't celebrate pagan customs. They say you don't celebrate that. You're not American. You don't want to stand for the flag. Right. You're not American. You're a traitor to your race. Because they got that thing embedded in their conscience. They've been marked in their mind, within their subconscious. Yep. They have been assimilated to American society. They've been marked by the beast. A mark is a stamp. Give me that. And they should put a stamp upon them. That's what's going to this stamp.
No, that's definitely a stamp. And I definitely...
Actually, no, let's continue on.
I hear what you're saying, brother.
Yep. Now go to verse 17.
Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Now, we're jumping off. You can't buy or sell. This is not talking about something small. This is talking about global economics. Okay. And then go to a global system. Let's go to Revelation chapter 18. It's something what you call today an embargo or a sanction. Okay. Guess what? If you don't agree with America's politics, their policies, they have the right to deny you access to the trading and selling. They did it to Cuba. Cuba is not allowed to, no countries or nations are allowed to trade with Cuba. That's why Cuba, it was under Fidel Castro. Remember, Fidel Castro tried to go on, they call him a communist. Right. Why they call him a communist? Because you don't practice America's democracy. So if you don't have America's full of political views, they call you a communist. They call you outside what they are. So guess what? They put an embargo or sanction on you.
Yeah.
You can't buy or sell. You can't participate in a trading.
Right.
Yeah.
North Korea. They deem North Korea as a threat. Actually, I have some of these things. Now, give me the Revelation chapter 18. I'm going to show you something.
Verse 11.
Let's start at Revelation says, start at verse 11.
Revelation chapter 18, verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her.
The merchants of the earth are these corporations.
Yeah.
Your Amazons, your Huawei, your Walmarts, your ShopRites, your BJs.
Yeah. Your Facebooks.
Yeah, your Facebooks.
Your Twitters.
Your Twitters, all
These are giant companies in the world.
Biggest companies.
The Wall Street.
Your Wall Streets. And it says, read that again.
And the merchants of the earth.
Your corporations of the earth.
Yeah.
Go on.
Shall weep and mourn over her.
This is when America is destroyed. The other nations are going to weep and mourn over America being destroyed. Read.
For no man buyeth their merchandise.
Wait, you see? No man buyeth their merchandise, read.
Anymore.
It's going to trade. Global trade. So it says, now go to verse 3 now.
Revelation 18, verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
All nations have received her mark, have drunken the wine of her fornication.
They not letting none of the shipments in now. Our whole country
We're going
is
into that.
surrounded by containers that can't port. Man,
yo, that's heavy. Yo, you in the spirit.
Right now, what you just read.
Exactly. It's happening right now. You're reading Bible prophecy as we speak. But that's why I want to bring this out, because what's occurring with the global shipments and the shipping containers, because of the supply, they can't get it in here.
Right now, no trading.
No trading.
We all ate off of it. Not no more.
Now, verse 3.
For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
All nations have drunken of the wrath of America's fornication. All nations are participating in America's politics. They're participating in their global trading system. Their religion, their philosophies, their military tactics. All nations are in agreement. All nations are involved or in battle with America. Go on.
And the kings of the earth.
And the kings of the earth. Russia, China, especially China, India, Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia. On the kings of the earth, read,
have committed fornication with her.
Have dealt with America. Have committed fornication. Have dealt with them. Have been slept in bed with America with their politics. Have been in bed with America with their religions. Have been in bed with America when it comes to the World Bank or the International Monetary Fund or the United Nations. They've been in bed with America in all aspects of life. They deal with America. Go on.
And the merchants of the earth.
And the merchants of the major corporations of the earth, read,
are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy.
Everybody became rich off of America. America was the first nation to become rich off of the transatlantic slave trade.
Open the markets up.
The stock market. From the global stock market, going to the steamboats, everybody became rich off of America. The power that was given to America, America spread it with all nations. But guess what? They had to accept their mark. They had to be in agreement with America in order to receive these riches. They had to get in battle with America. So that's what they all been marked. Now go back to verse 11.
Verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
It says no man buyeth their merchandise. That's why we read earlier in Revelation chapter 13, verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell. It's going to global trading. Go on. And this is how we know it's going to global trading. Go on.
Verse 12. The merchandise of gold and silver.
Why? Because what's in these shipping containers? Gold, silver, go on.
And precious stones, and of pearls, and fine linen, and purple, and silk.
That's what's in the shipping containers. That no man might buy and sell. If you're not in agreement for America's policies, their politics, their philosophies, then you're not going to participate in the trading system. I'm going to show you that in a second. Go on.
And scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves.
Who's the slaves? We were the slaves. This started during the time of the slave trade. This global trade system started during the time, and we were the first trade.
Yeah.
We were the first commodities.
Right.
We were the first stock on Wall Street.
Yes.
So
Facts.
this is going back. The mark it's already been here.
Right.
People are looking for a microchip when it's showing the mark has been here since the slave trade. Everybody has slept or committed fornication with America. Everybody has accepted America's policy. And guess what? If you don't accept America's policy, they put an embargo on a sanction on you so that no man should what?
They trying to cancel Dave Chappelle right now. Listen, even the cancel culture is so far good with the script. If you're not following the policy we have set up, we're going to cancel you.
And
you can't
exactly.
be on our website. You can't use our platform.
Yep.
If you're not following our agenda and our plan,
they're going to cancel you. You can't do no business with them. I'm told this is on America's philosophy is covering the whole earth.
We really like the last stand. If America don't do it, it's over.
And it says, and that no man might buy or sell, read.
And chariots and...
No.
Oh, sorry.
Now go back to Revelation 13, verse 17.
Revelation 13, verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
You got to be in agreement with everything America pushes.
Yeah.
Now check this out. This is how we know it's going to the global trade system. Get Ezekiel chapter 28, and we almost done. Ezekiel 28, verse 1. Verse 4.
Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 4. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding.
Start at verse 1. So this is a similitude. Go on.
Ezekiel 28, verse 1. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus.
So the prince of Tyrus, remember, Tyrus was a global trading system back in Jerusalem, or not Jerusalem, or in Phoenicia, or Phoenice.
Right.
Or Tyre, or the Tyrus. Or you have Tyre and Zidon. That was a trade port.
Yeah, I'm right with you.
Back then, they had the biggest global trade port. So it's showing you that the prince of Tyrus, Esau takes on many different characteristics of these previous ruling nations.
They sold us to Spain.
So that's why I call him the Prince of Tyrus. The Esau, you're the Prince of Tyrus.
Yeah.
You're the global ruling trade system.
Yeah.
Go on.
Thus saith the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God.
Because you, Esau, Prince of Tyrus, your heart is lifted up. You're puffed up in pride. And you say that I am God. Guess what? I look like God. I'm going to paint myself as God. I'm going to paint myself as Jesus Christ. I'm going to have the scientific and technology to be able to create an atom bomb. I'm God. Just like, think about it. God gave Elijah the ability to cause fire to come from heaven. Esau says, you know what? Because I don't have that ability, I'm God. I'm going to make science. I'm going to create a science that's going to cause me to cause fire from heaven. I didn't need God for that. I'm God.
This is
Copycat.
how we can do it. Yep.
Oh, God created the heavens and earth by elements, by putting the different elements together and creating the sun, the moon, and the stars. Because everything that we know is based upon elements.
That's the first promise of Satan. You could be like your God.
So Esau,
that's what they want to be.
Yeah, they want to be God. Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. That's what they say even in they little papers or whatever, these technocrats, and they practicing this technology where they want to become one with robots and all like this and get rid of the soul and they want to map your brain, your consciousness. They think they're going to continue living. Once you tap into that system, you dead. Yeah. And you just they copy your brain.
Exactly.
And that's all you're going to be, continue to be. Yeah, but you know what can inhabit that body? A demon spirit. I'm telling you, if they make something, they want to create something. They want to create a life form or like a flesh being to where they can inhabit it. They try to inhabit us. Sometimes we fight or whatever, but they want to bring something to where these beings can live like us.
So read on. And there's a show called Ultra Carbon.
Oh, exactly.
They're trying to they're trying to know it because they're trying to be as God. They're trying to live forever, immortality. Think about it. everything that was promised to the Israelites and everything that the Israelites were able to do through the Spirit of God, they're trying to do through technology. They try to cause fire to come from heaven. Elijah was able to do that. Guess what? They did it through Oppenheimer.
Destroy the whole army.
Yep. They did it through their science. They said, see, we can cause fire to come from heaven. They're trying to bring people back from the dead through the false hearts, you know, the ventilators, the machines, life support. We can bring people back to life too. We can do the same thing. Oh, the angel. Oh, we can fly too. We can go to space too. We can go to the heavens too. Oh, we can. Oh, your leg is missing. Guess what? We can repair it. You need a new heart. I can give it to you.
Because it's no God, and we
are God. They're trying to be like God. Everything God can do, they're trying to be.
And when we say that, they mean that in a completely different way than when we say that. It's an understanding you have to have when you understand we part of the whole, and they feel like it's no whole. They are the whole. Like
that's that jealousy with Esau. Remember, he wasn't getting the blessing. He sold his birthright. Because he's envious.
He cried his heart out.
He's bitter. He's envious. He said, I want the blessing.
Yes, can I get anything? What can I get some?
So now he's trying to obtain the blessings through his technology. He's trying to obtain immortality through trying to transfer his consciousness into another sleeve. That's why they have all these movies, Ultra Carbon, and it's madness. They're trying to be as God.
All right, brother. So
go on.
Go ahead, brother. We're gonna wrap it up. Finish your thought though.
Go on.
Verse 2, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God.
I sit in the seat of the Pope. I am God. I sit in the seat.
I'm God represented on earth.
Yep, exactly. That's what it means. Go on.
In the midst of the seas.
In the midst. What's going on? What is in the midst of the seas? They're navies. They control the sea routes. They control the trade routes. Guess what? The Panama Canal gave them access to all trade. All the world. You got to go through them now. Go on.
Yet thou art a man.
You're a man. Go on.
And not God.
You're not God. Go on.
Though thou set thine heart as the heart of God.
Read on.
Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel.
You're even smarter than Daniel. And Daniel is one of the wisest prophets.
Yes.
Go on.
There is no secret that they can hide from thee.
And nobody can hide from you. No secret. You got to listen to people on your phones, your TVs, your satellites. No secret can be hidden from you. Whatever you type on the internet, guess what? They can find out. It's in the cloud. No secret is hidden from this man. Go on.
With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic.
What is that traffic? Their trading system. The wisdom that they had was during the 1700s when they invented the steamboat. That changed the game. They was able to rapidly transport goods, merchandise, cotton, tobacco, sugarcane to the other side of the world at a faster pace to speed up their money, to quicken their income. That changed the game by that traffic and that trade that has gotten the riches. So it's going to the global trade system. So when it says that no man might buy and sell, that's going to them putting a sanction. Let me just read the last thing, you don't mind?
All right, no, go ahead, brother.
Then we're done. To show you that. Now, countries sanctioned by the U.S. and why? I'm going to go to, let's see.
We have a couple. I know most of the Middle East
is sanctioned.
I know we have sanctions on Russia. We have sanctions on China. We have sanctions on places like Venezuela.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because you know why?
Cuba.
Yep, because they don't believe in their political.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And I don't completely agree with even with the communist thing neither, because I think that's it's one and the same. It's the same body. It's just a different hand of it. It's capitalism, communism, whatever, fascism. All these isms, the same people. They the same people just trying to separate it. These people that's going to go to war, like we were talking about last time, it's really not even all war that's about to happen. We can fall back, play the sidelines.
That's what it's supposed to do.
They fighting their cousins. They fighting, this is Esau and Japheth, who became one and with Rome or whatever. But now he fighting his cousins in Asia and all like that. And when they mixed or whatever, so... And man, it's time for them to get it popping. You know what I mean? We're going to rise up. So I agree with you on that.
Yep. So remember Nigeria years ago under Obama administration.
Yeah.
When it was going to war on Boko Haram.
Okay, yeah. I remember that.
One of the, like I said, one of the things, America said, in order for us to go to war with you and provide you with aid, with financial aid, you have to accept, remember?
Yes, our terms and conditions. Because of what?
Which was what? Gay rights.
Oh, man, and they didn't do it. See,
They
that's
didn't
the
do it.
devil. That's the devil.
See?
But they're going to use it as humanitarianism and everything of, well, y'all not always right, so we can't help you or whatever, but...
That no man might buy or sell. In order for them to deal with you in terms of the trading or financial relief by the International Monetary Fund or the World Bank, in order for them to help you, assist you with any war or any financial relief, you got to agree with their policies. And Nigeria rejected it.
Yeah, because that's an abomination. Yeah. They want you to really You know, I was reading up something the other day. This was the last thing I'm gonna close on. Bro, I'll let y'all brothers sign out, unless y'all can make y'all closing statements. But during the Inquisition, right, when our brothers, you know, they was hiding and trying to act like they wasn't. You mean because some of them would try to change their religion and they would practice praising the Most High in secret or whatever like that. They was hiding. They chased them all across the world. You know, even back into Africa. But they used to come to the towns, right? And they used to force everybody to eat pork. They would bring a pig and say, come eat this pig to prove that you not. We have somebody in their town to be like, yo, I think that's a Hebrew. I think that's, you know, they might be like this, but, you know, they would come make them eat pork. I'm crazy. That's just crazy, but that's how they used to, because that's how devout our people was. Yeah. And a lot of our fathers died not going with it. And what they did was they took the children and the women.
Hundreds.
Seriously. No, they did that. They took hundreds and hundreds of the Roman Catholic Church. They took all the kids of the people that didn't want to convert. We was running out of Spain. You know, not only Spain, because it went into Europe, it followed them everywhere. It followed them everywhere that they went. Even when they came over here. They was acting like they was mixing with natives. They was mixing with because remember, we was the New Spain first. It was the conquistadors came here first. And they was tracking these people over here. Even the pirates. The pirates was Hebrews. They was running from the Inquisition. No, brother, go dive into that. If you want to learn about that, but we definitely got the crazy buzz, but I don't be wanting to bring about why we be talking, you know, we be too deep. But, you know, I'm glad to have my brothers up here today, and, you know, I'm going to sign out. You know, this is No Radio. I'm going to let both of y'all brothers, you know, tell us where we can find you and everything. You know, go ahead, Kat.
All right. So all praise to the Most High. Thank you once again for having us on our radio show. It's always a pleasure. Once again, you can look us up at www.israelunite.org. www.israelunite.org. We also have a school location, so go into the website to find our contact information. If you want to congregate, you can hit us up on let's say go to the website, hit us up on our phone number. What's the phone number? You got it? No. I think so. We gotta have it.
Yeah, but that's catching you all. Anything you want to say, brother, before we get out of here?
Catch us on IUIC.tv as well. We have our own TV station on Roku, on many different platforms, Fire Stick. You can catch us on there. We're IUIC in the Classroom, YouTube. We have many YouTube channels, so you could just look us up and put IUIC. Any location you're looking for, we're on there.
Okay, brother. Tell me your name again, brother.
Officer Vishayo.
No doubt. All right, so we good. Good. All right, and that's a great show. I definitely enjoyed the topics today, and we always get into it with my brothers, and it's always a learning experience for me, and I appreciate it. All praises to the Most High. And this is your boy, Third Eye Raul Ruger. This is the God Body Show, and we'll see y'all in 1 month. And we out of here.
We used to scream Black Power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.